Hey yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone, everywhere? Welcome back to another video, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video out, and all the other good stuff. You feel me? Everything you do for the other YouTubers, go ahead and do it for your boy real quick, alright? But nonetheless, actually by title of the video, we're gonna touch upon the nature single target might based loadout. Okay, it's probably not gonna be titled in that order, probably be nature might, whatever. You see the title of the video, you clicked on it, you want to see what's up. Nature does, it does okay. I'm gonna be honest, man, kind of disappointed on some facets of it. I definitely think it could use a slight buff, you feel me? But nonetheless, let's go ahead and hop into the video and get down to it. What is the best might-based loadout? Look, I'm already messing up, but it's all good, man. Now, actually, I have brawling. If you want to do more single target damage, dual wield will be the preferred. But for might, I love my rifle. I didn't buy one yet. Didn't want to waste the marks. So you guys should see I'm still trying to get the gear and whatnot. I've been playing other games. All right, I have, I have enough for it. I'm just getting last little bit right now, so I can just buy the full set and then just call it a day. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna do it all at once. All my testing's been done with this gear here as is, so I don't really want to add any more gear till I get the full set and then redo all my testing. You know what I mean? I want the numbers to match up. But nonetheless, you want your dual wield or rifle, preferably rifle. Weapon slot, blast adapter 5 is what you want to get. All right. Head socket, you want to go ahead and get gorilla form, supercharged gorilla form, get that 5% supercharge back to you. It's gonna be very good for you. Since we're on might based DPS, get the next socket for escalating might. Okay, that's what you want to get your might up, get more damage up, etc. Bat socket berserker, 10% increased damage is phenomenal. Your health drop below 35% quite often, and even if you get it with Lineair's amulet right here, your health, you can force yourself your health to drop below 35% and get this 10% additional damage. So it's just good all around. Very good to have. In terms of the chest right here, Penetrating Strike is the best one to get. Core Strength is second best, but Penetrating Strikes is absolutely best. Okay. Leg socket, Serpent Claw. Doesn't really matter, but since we already use Serpent Claw, a little bit healing, especially if using like the amulet and whatnot, can go a long way. Mine's just not scaled for anything, so it's not that good, but it's something. Feet, I got dash combos in here because I am super speed, but if you are not super speed, or if you don't like this right here, because we're not really going to be using super speed abilities like that where we're using dash and combo for this. This is more for our AoE based loadouts, or melee based loadouts. You want to go ahead and put in a Tumbling Master, okay? Now you could also put in that Deadly Block. It will scale off your precision, 5% of that. But Tumbling Master, so you know when you roll and all that, that's gonna be your best bet. In terms of your hand socket right here, you already see we got the max damage. Just every DPS should be running this for the most part. There are very few exceptions to the rule, but this is the rule. Run max damage. 2% goes a long way. Face socket, since we do have face sockets for our elite face piece here, and almost everyone should have this by now. I got precision and might. Now, if you are doing weapon taps, this is probably going to be one of the best ones for you. If you're not doing weapon taps, you're just trying to scale your might as high as physically possible. I wouldn't even recommend that you just get straight might. I'll actually recommend you go might and health. So when you have a buff troll, your might can get scaled even higher. Okay. Now, if you are struggling with power, I'll go might and power. You see where I'm coming from. Straight up might, it's not a lot for just straight might as opposed to getting two different stats and splitting it. So yeah, you could go straight might if you just want the raw, just here's the might stat. But might and health would be a little bit better for you if we're being honest. More survivability plus a buff troll can scale your might up even higher, so that's still good nonetheless. Okay. As you see by our Affinity Mods here, I got the first two, Type A and Type B, are both might. We're might based DPS. It makes sense. Alright, makes sense. Got might colas if we need them. I'm not on any cola right now and showcasing this loadout. But in terms of our utility belt, Tier 3 pet, I use a mother box for better ones than mother box. Okay, look up City Joe video if you want to figure out which one is. I don't even think I have the highest one right now, if I'm not mistaken. But mother box is in the top contenders. It's like a top 5 or something like that, so it's still good nonetheless. Okay. Now Gotham City Emergency Signal, I got this from, if you come, I don't know if it's on the marketplace, but it was in the bundles, I believe, the Gotham City starter pack. It was like $7.99. It comes with that. Oh yeah, see, Gotham City Emergency Signal, you know, gives 25% experience boost. We don't need that where level 30, so it don't matter. But it calls Batman Frost for villains, calls Joker. Does a lot of damage, especially if you are pet DPSing. Oh my goodness, the thing does so much. Does like half a mil per hit. It's ridiculous. If you're just doing normal DPS like this, like how we are for my base, it's gonna be about 300k per hit. Now mind you, we're using a big group of enemies, just like Orbital Strike, so we hit phenomenally, and does some hits after the 300k anyway. So good nonetheless, very good. Buff Trinket, self-explanatory, and I like to go ahead and put my henchman as a cooldown trigger timer, so we can swap in our Decking Scepter and Orbital Strike, as well as Philosopher's Stone and Supply Drop. Now I got some questions on Philosopher's Stone here. Pretty much, if you can't get it up to 200, I would say don't even waste your time for the most part. In terms of DPS, just because 200 will allow you to get the double the duration of the damage buff, and that's really what you want to use it for. Now keep in mind the reduced cooldown is okay at 160, but you really want to go ahead and just focus on that double damage if you're just doing comp, you know what I mean, competitive DPS and all that. That's really what you want to go for. Okay, Decking Scepter, HC 160 is best bet for you. I just want to touch on that real quick. Now in terms of other artifacts, okay, Transformation card is going to be a best bet. Strategist card is a lovely pairing, and it's going to do phenomenal with this build here. Pretty much any single target build should, or boss damage build, should be running Strategist card as well. Very few exceptions as well. E-Bonds Untethered Shadow, especially when you get this up to 200, oh my goodness, it is phenomenal. It is meta. Just like how Lanier's Amulet was so good, E-Bond is better just because we're not at risk of dying every 2 seconds and every time we attempt to do a move. This is going to be more power focused, and we can scale our power up. We can be pretty good for our power conservation. If you're really having power trouble like that, you can even throw in your chest mod here, the power efficiency mod to reduce all your super power cost by 5%. It's not much, but it helps when you're trying to do, you know, the most damage and you're struggling with power. Even with that, it will help with Lanier's Amulet if you are using both of them in tandem with one another to just make sure you take less damage that you're inflicting upon yourself. So it's fantastic as a substitute alternative. But if you're actually focused on just pure raw utter damage, E-Bond's gonna be, you know, what you want to do with penetrating strikes. Alright. Now, other artifacts that you could use if you don't have E-Bonds up for whatever reason, like I said, there's Amulet. It's fantastic to use. It's the same as that. You get the same exact might as E-Bonds, except you just don't get the damage reduction that E-Bond will give you. Instead, you are taking your health, which can actually help proc your Berserker, so that's good. But yeah, next up I would have to say is Quizlet. Just the dot damage that Quizlet does, fantastic. The Mega Blast for supercharge regeneration that we get, absolutely fantastic, as well as when we actually use our supercharge. The Refracto Beam is fantastic as well. So there's so many things that we can do that can really make this thing hit. And it's just good all around. Mind you, Lanier's Amulet and E-Bonds Untethered Shadow are just better for just pure utter raw damage. But if you want that runner up, it's definitely Quizlet. After that, I would say it's Solar Amplifier. If you don't have these other two, you know, or other three ranked up for whatever reason, Solar Amp will be good. You'll do less damage than Quizlet and, well, a lot of less damage than Amulet or E-Bond, but Solar Amplifier is still decent. After that, if you don't have any of those and you only got scrap, hey, use scrap. Alright, at least you get more supercharges off. But yeah, I don't know what to say. If you don't have scrap, you don't have any of these, then you just need to keep grinding on the game. Alright. Now you can definitely swap in Eye of Gemini if you want to. I find it's not as beneficial a lot of times, especially when you're losing those stacks of Emon, when you swap off of it, or when there's Amulet, when you're swapping off. Sometimes if you do it fast enough for a swap, you don't actually lose the stacks, which can be very good. You just gotta be fast enough to do it. But for the most part, a lot of times you lose your stacks pretty quickly. Mind you, like it says, only stacks per each stack lasts up to 6 seconds. It says right here on the amulet. So keep that in mind. Sometimes the 6 seconds go past when you take the amulet off. But other times when I've seen you take the amulet off, you lose all the might that you just accumulated. So be careful when it comes to Eye of Gemini or even the Mercy artifact for those swap in artifacts. Oh, let me go ahead and show you my stats. You see about 228,781 might. We got, you know, a decent amount of health, good amount of power, a little bit of precision, combat rating more 412. You see what kind of stats we're looking at, what's our crit chance, crit damage, etc., etc. Okay, we're doing pretty good all around. Oh, and also, as you see here, I do have one of the latest one, not two, because I've been working on my precision one. It's down there. But yeah, just keep that in mind. The rest of these are pretty good, pretty much maxed out. You want all might for all augments. Your might based DPS, you want might. Alright, now even with the addition of Blue Beetle, that is more precision based. So since it's precision based, we don't have to worry about it. Crypto, boss, single target, that's the best bet for you. So go ahead and pop in crypto if you don't have crypto for whatever reason. Mind you, still cheap. House Legend Bot, I know people like that as well. House Legend Bot does do less damage than crypto, keep that in mind. Plus crypto burns enemies, so it has a little bit of help there. Okay, for even more damage, mind you. Now what I like to go ahead and use is Batman Luck of the Draw. Now what we're really wanting out of this Luck of Draw is pretty much any of the bonuses that you get from it. All of them are really, really good. The 5% might increase, phenomenal. 2.5% precision if we're doing a weapon taps, phenomenal as well. 35% power generation if we are struggling on power, especially with E-bonds, phenomenal. Okay, 7.5% critical chance, phenomenal. You see, we're just getting all these good buffs for them. And even 10% health, especially 1 survivability, and 2 a buff troll, scaling your might even higher. Okay, absolutely phenomenal. Battling Labs is a lot of times slept on ally. It is still very good, still very meta, still top, one of the top picks, etc. Okay, so Battling Labs is definitely gonna be a way to go. Now, if you are might based, anything nature, you should be using Poison Ivy. I'm not sure why you're not using Poison Ivy and Power and Spore. You have to scale your might up like crazy, even your precision. Okay. Absolutely insane what you get to do with this, and how we're going to be using it is going to go crazy. It's going to go nuts even. Okay, absolutely insane. Now with that being said, let's go and hop into the actual spec of everything. Now actually I have a brawling weapon, I only put 1 into it. If you're using a rifle, you only put 1 in rifle. Now you could get the mastery, and now like it says, increases weapon attack damage when rifle is equipped. Same as says for all weapons when you get the mastery. So if you want your weapon attacks, the little taps that you're doing between each power, they could get increased like that, but it's definitely not necessary unless you have a very high amount of skill points. Now mind you, you need about, I think it's like 400 to 500 range just to fill out everything for the most part and really be good and at a good position. Don't let that discourage you. It's very easy to get a lot of skill points very quickly. When I was grinding skill points up, I got like 10, 15 a day. So you only got a couple of days and you good, you know what I mean? You get a couple hundred over, like, you know, a week. Well, you get like 100 a week if you really like grinding, putting everything in there, and doing stuff very efficiently. You can get like 100 a week. There's only a couple weeks, a month, done. So keep that in mind. Mind you, that is very like you're super efficient, super sweat, super into it, super no life. So definitely keep that in mind. I want everyone to have a realistic picture of it. But nonetheless, let's talk about the super speed tree. Speed Force, if you are super speed, definitely go ahead and get a tornado pool and then get your masteries and resistances here. Okay, so you'll be good when you break out. In terms of iconic powers, you know how to get all these. Robot Sidekick is sufficient. And if you just want a little bit more damage increase for your weapon attack, it is very slight, but it still helps nonetheless. Super Strength is a good thing. A lot of people do use heat vision, and you can. There's a variation of this loadout if you are non-super speed, which require heat vision, so pick that up if you're not super speed. But if you're super speed, don't have to worry about it. Stat points, superpower focus, turns of priority, get your critical attack chance, critical attack damage, number everything to mind power. If you have anything left, I like to at least spec 1, 5, or 10 into precision if I am doing weapon attacks. In between, this one I'm not really, because I don't have my rifle, and I like to only really do weapon attacks with rifle. But occasionally I still do, if I'm being honest, especially if I'm like comping somebody, sweating, then yeah. But nonetheless, I like to dump everything else in health. 1 survivability and 2 buff trolls, fantastic. And if you have over 300 skill points into one of your stat points here, so one of the bottom 6 that you have down here, after 300, each one that you put in for the next, level that you're attributing to it does way more per skill point bonus than if you were just anything else. You see how this only gives you what, 1 precision, right? 1 gives you 1 precision for 1 skill point. That's bad. But see how much health you get? Now mind you, with health you get like a good chunk per skill point as is. But this is phenomenal. You keep telling me I'm getting what, like 300-400 per skill point? Absolutely insane. Okay, so you definitely want to get over the 300 mark as fast as possible. Mind you, not going to do it at 400 or 500 skill points. You gotta, you gotta get up there like I am, 700 type deal. Now in terms of actual loadout, I know I've been rambling, I know I've been doing all type of stuff. Let's get to the loadout, okay? For the loadout, we're doing a lot of dots. I tried with the heat vision and using something like tornado pool, putting the dot in the mix, then having impaling thorns, the robot sidekick, the standard loadout for a lot of stuff. That does so much significant less damage than if you're just doing these dots right here. Dots are very consistent, and when they crit high, they crit higher than you're doing, heat vision, all the other stuff when that crits high, okay? So this is just overall just a better loadout. I like to use Vine Lash, Briar, Serpent Call, Roar, Robot Sidekick, Gorilla Form. Now Gorilla Form is 30% buff, Neo Venom 45% buff. Keep that in mind. Now Rampage and even Wolf, those are 10% buffs, but you do get I think a Wolf is like 15% crit chance and damage, and Rampage is just 10% crit chance and damage. So keep that in mind for those ones if you do want to use them for whatever reason. And even carnivorous plants can hit it very hard if you want to use that supercharge. I know people have been asking for more variations with the loadouts. Carnivorous plants I was able to hit for about 2 million. Now mind you, that's like supply drop popped, buff trinket hit. I didn't drink a soda. I probably should drink a soda. Probably hit it higher. But yeah, so I popped my buff trinket here, pop this, pop my supply drop, and then pop the plants. Mind you, with full Ebon, Linaires, all that, and it hit 2 mil. So that was pretty good. It crit. When it didn't crit, it was still hitting 1 million. And that's not considering the fact that it does dot damage after the fact. There's like 30k dots, 12 dots. That's another like 300 plus K right there, 360k. So that's still really good damage. So it's like 2.3 mil. Very, very good. Okay. If you want to scale this up and hope for a crit. But if you just want consistency, very good consistent damage, still hitting very hard, very high, etc., Gorilla Form is where you want to go. And the reason why you even want to use a lot of these dots in the first place, in tandem with Gorilla, because once you hit all 3 dots and you swap over to this Gorilla loadout here, you can use Harvest to have all 3 dots constantly going and refreshing, and then you can just stay in Gorilla Form even when the buff wears off until you have another Gorilla Form ready to pop. Okay, so then you just keep using Harvest and go down the line. Now mind you, this is the non-super speed variation of the loadout. We have Heat Vision, Voracious Plant, Impaling Thorns, Robot Sidekick, because if you have it on your regular loadout and you have it on your Gorilla Form loadout, a lot of times it shouldn't despawn. Excuse the dog in the background. A lot of times it shouldn't despawn, and then you'll have your return to normal form here. That is going to be your Gorilla Form loadout for non-super speed variants. Okay, now if you are super speed, Tornado Pull in replace of Heat Vision does a lot of damage. Now let me try to get somewhere where no one else is at. Now the type of damage you're going to expect with this is pretty much in your base form you hit about 130 to about 170,000 per second. Kind of what you're working with there, depending on how well you crit. At very lowest 120 is what I've been seeing. Gorilla Form, with everything hidden the way it do, I'm not gonna front, it hit pretty high. I've seen well over 200,000, even close up there to 250. Okay, it was like 244. But yeah, it was pretty good nonetheless. Let me go ahead and show you. You just pretty much go right down the list, right down the line. I mean, and then just see what's available. Okay, essentially that's why I put it like this, because you're gonna hit all 3 dots, hit roar, hit these 2 dots, hit roar. Now, for those of you that are confused on what roar, see 144 right there. What roar does is right here, all it does is take all these 3 dots and make them do all the damage they would have done over time at once. Okay, that's why we're hitting so many times, and we're hitting well over 100 K crits, 200K crits per one, and you hit like 3 of them, that's like 600K right there. So you see, you're doing a lot of damage, you're doing a lot of good fast damage, reliable damage, just very good all around. Okay, and roar does hit multiple targets, and Serpent Call, that's name. Serpent Call also hit multiple targets. So if you are having a couple targets near the boss and whatnot, you're still good to go there. Just do a little bit of damage to them, but that's where really when you want to be in Gorilla Form, so you AoE based on that. Okay. Now, since we were using E-Bonds Untethered Shadow, we are actually able to take full advantage of it, that full 30% might buff, without being interrupted whatsoever at all, since we are not using a 35% right now. Excuse my dog in the background. Other dogs in heat, so he's fiending right now. But nonetheless, this is some really good consistent. Actually, the 120s that we're getting right here, I'm kind of messing some stuff up, so bear in mind, keep in mind, okay? And this is without, oh, there it finally go. There it finally go. I was about to say without a strategist card proc, I didn't see it for a second. See, 130s, what we were looking at before. After this, I'm gonna hit Gorilla Form so you can see that kind of loadout. Now you'll hit Harvest, Tornado Pull, Voracious Plants, then you'll drain it all, and you pretty much go right down the line. And since you see Voracious Plants not ready again, you'll hit the first 3 again, wait for Voracious Plants, and just go from there. Now I know it says 180. That's okay. That's that's still good damage nonetheless. But for a supercharge, you want to hit even higher, and it'll just gradually go back down. But when you're just in base Gorilla Form, no nothing, no buff happening, you'll see you hit that 140s, 150s, 160s kind of range. You'll consistently stay over there. until you're ready to go back out and then into grow form again to get the buff again. Okay, that 30% damage buff. Now keep this in mind, I'm not buffed up with the cola, don't have the instance buff, I don't have the compound, I don't have nothing. I can even show you right here, there's nothing. I'm going down, I can't go down any further, there's no buffs on me. So keep that in mind, your damage is going to be exponentially higher in content. You're going to be having your buff trinket, your supply drop, omega, your cola, the troll going to be buffing you. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening to increase your damage exponentially. So a lot of times I know when people see this, go like, you telling me I'm only hitting 186,000 per second in the content? No, you're going to be hitting well over 200,000. 300,000 even. There's times where I was easily hitting 600,000. Okay, I was doing GOM, you know what I mean, for Save the Universe and all that. Okay, hitting gorilla form like that. It was crazy. The base load I was hitting 200,000 to 300,000. Like it ain't nothing. Then I hit a super, hitting 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 per second. It was insane. Like I just want to put that out there for people that don't understand. Okay. If you're not knowledgeable on it, alright, it's okay, it's all good. But nonetheless, this is the loadout that I got for y'all. If you want to go ahead and try it out, it's gonna be the same exact thing if you are not super speed, because you just put out tornado pool and put in replace the heat vision, and then you'll just go right down the line. And I'll even show you there real quick, just so there is no confusion. Hit harvest, heat vision, let it play out so you get all the ticks and all the damage. They kind of stopped it before where you get all the damage and just jump cancel it. You can still burn enemies, but you won't get the more harder hitting ticks that you'll need. See, it does good damage that way as well. Like I said, it's good either way, but with tornado pool, you're gonna end up doing more damage if you're critting. Okay, with this one, why you see that 223,000 off rip, it's because, hey, look, it just fell that way with the crits. But for consistency, from the analysis I was doing for everything, the tornado pool is going to be a little bit better off for you. Heat vision is still excellent, very, very good, very, very good. A lot of times you don't even have to run tornado pool. Okay, if you really don't want to, especially if you are having to do a lot of rolling, blocking mechanics, whatever, you might actually want to use heat vision over that, over tornado pool, because tornado pool is definitely going to be one of those where you have to be on top of it to take full advantage of it, because if it does not crit, it's going to be really, really bad. Okay, heat vision is just that old, reliable, consistent one that even burns them. Burning with all your dots too is going to be just very good all around. Okay, and look, we're no buff. I'm walking away and I'm still getting 135. Ha! Look, it's good damage. Okay, good damage nonetheless, and that's what I got for y'all. Okay, been testing out like crazy, trying to figure all types of combinations, all kinds of supercharge, all kinds of power sampling here. How do you do the rotation? Can I improve the rotation? All this other stuff. There's not a lot of videos on it. There's a lot of websites and Discord chats that talk about some stuff for nature. A lot of stuff is very old when nature got buffed and nerfed and buffed and messed with and all kinds of stuff. So I'm doing a lot of work for this, and this is what I got for y'all. It's very, very good. You can still be one of the top DPS, I'm not gonna lie, as long as you're on top of your rotation. Okay, with these loadouts and you're on top of your rotation, you should be good to go. Keep that in mind. Okay, the rotation is very key, very important. But nonetheless, let me know in the comment section down below how you like this video right here, how you like the loadouts. If you have any recommendation for a loadout, let me know in the comment section as well. Join my Discord. I should have it up on my channel somewhere. I made a post about it already. I'll probably link it on this video as well. And that's where I'm going to try to have this video in text form, as well as the link for this in that Discord chat as well. We can talk about stuff. You want to recommend a loadout for me to try out, test out, whatever, I'll test it out and I'll give you credit if you want to have credit. Some people don't like that, some people do. Let me know if you want it. Okay, but nonetheless, this is what we got here. Yeah, this is also my own creation. I ain't take anyone's stuff on this. I tested it against everyone else, and this one ended up being on top. So hey, that's good, I guess. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video out, and everything else. Without further ado, peace and shalom, y'all.